These are monster battles following D&D 5e rules. You don't have to know anything about D&D or how to play it or the rules, just enjoy how these battles play out via these realistic mechanisms. And also, as a quick note prior to our battle intro, I want to thank all the viewers for their feedback and suggestions and such. This is still a learning process for me, and I feel I have to find out a good balance to keep these entertaining as well as following only what the stat blocks suggest. I figure a good DM will often go outside of the box and make battles a bit more interesting, but I also don't want to veer out so much as to have the monsters do something that their stat block doesn't suggest or what players would often not expect happening, especially considering their challenge rating levels and such. So with that in mind, let's get into this. We are back at the arena, folks. The crowd has grown a bit since our first battle with the goblin and the orc. Word is spreading as the spectators are growing and differentiating. Today we have a fun battle prepared for you, as these are two stoner type of creatures. One that has legends telling that it turns to stone at night, and the other with the capability of appearing as stone or a stone statue. Let's see who cracks who in this battle of these two chaotic evils. Both of the monster miniatures here are from the old Dragon Strike board game. The gargoyle comes in at 8 feet tall and 450 pounds. The troll wanders in at 10 feet tall and 550 pounds. They're both somewhat basic monsters in their aspects, although the gargoyle is a bit on the larger side. The gargoyle is considered a medium elemental chaotic evil creature. It has an armor class of 15, hit points 77, and the usual speed of 30 feet on ground and 60 feet in flight. It has some damage resistances to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage from non-magical attacks that aren't adamantine. It has damage immunities for poison and condition immunities for exhaustion, petrified, and poisoned. It speaks the language of Terran and has a challenge rating of 2. It has the ability, while remaining motionless, to become indistinguishable from an inanimate statue. And also, being on the larger size, its attack attempts will have more chances at being actual hits. So let's see how it fares against his grounded, even bigger, green foe. The troll is a large giant in size. It's chaotic evil and has the same armor class of 15. Its hit points are a bit higher as it's a larger monster at 84, and its speed on ground is 30 feet as well. It speaks the language of giant, so there's no way these guys will be easily communicating, and he has a challenge rating of 5. The troll has the ability of keen smell, so when relying on perceiving something with the use of smell, it'll have a pretty decent attempt at figuring it out. It also has regeneration, so it will heal at the beginning of every one of its turn. It'll actually heal 10 points back, although it does have a weakness against acid and fire damage. Alrighty, get your butt to your seats and your popcorn out, as we're gonna find out who leaves this arena alive today. Our contestants start out 70 feet apart. The gargoyle will be represented with the black dice, and the troll with the white. Nice start there for the gargoyle, but that doesn't count. The gargoyle rolls a 19, and the troll rolls a 9. Therefore, the gargoyle moves first. Considering the distance, it decides to go into flight, and it flies forward 60 feet. Still having 10 feet to go, it won't be able to swoop in and attack in time, so it decides to remain in flight here and wait for the troll to move in closer. The troll, seeing the gargoyle move in, closes the distance by moving in those 10 feet, and stands right below the gargoyle. The gargoyle hovering at least 10 to 15 feet above the troll. The troll, not being the most athletic of creatures, doesn't even attempt to jump and claw the skies at the gargoyle, so it crouches down and readies an attack, just in case the gargoyle swoops down for an attack. And being the gargoyle's turn now, that's exactly what it does. It moves down 10 feet, and right before it can strike at the troll's readied attack triggers. The troll, taking an immediate advantage, strikes with its claws from its left arm, rolling a 7, which in the gargoyle's favor is a miss, as the gargoyle moves just out of reach of the rugged, sharp claws of the troll. And so the gargoyle proceeds with its attack. First it tries to bite the troll, rolling a 1, completely missing the troll, but then immediately throws its claws out in the direction of the troll's large head and scores a 20 critical hit. And that doubles the damage roll for a 9 9 total slashing damage, and that brings down the troll's HP to 75 points. The gargoyle now attempts to flee back into the air, but without a proper disengagement, this of course triggers an opportunity attack from the troll. The troll once again attempts to claw at the gargoyle, rolling an 18 in the attempt, which is a success. And for damage, it rolls a 2 and a 2. And that's a total of 8 slashing damage, but with the gargoyle's resistance to slashes, it only suffers 4 damage, taking it down to 73. And with that, the gargoyle carries on, moving up into the air 25 feet and back another 5, just for that better perspective. The troll's biology, taking advantage of its regenerative ability, heals 10 points of damage, bringing its health back to a full 84. And what can it do? There's no rocks or objects around to throw at the gargoyle, so it moves in closer once again and readies for another possible triggered attack, in case the gargoyle swoops down again. The gargoyle, seeing the troll's wounds seal up and the bleeding slow, figures that another swoop down attack could only bring more devastation to itself, so it tries a different sort of strategy, as this could rest its wings a bit as well. The gargoyle first decides to fly away and land 60 feet away. It carefully perches down on the ground and settles into a position that makes it indistinguishable from a stone statue. While in this interesting resemblance, it carefully readies an attack in case the troll gets close enough. The troll, seeing the gargoyle land on the ground, decides to take advantage. It rushes in after the gargoyle and doubles its move forward, leaving just a 5-foot distance from the gargoyle in case the gargoyle decides to strike it. The gargoyle decides to continue its somewhat restful position, remaining completely still but ready as ever. It's now back to the troll to decide what to do. It looks directly at the gargoyle. It's somewhat confused. It doesn't see its chest bumping in breaths, nor even the wings twitch a little bit in the wind. Trying to better assess the situation, the troll sniffs the air. It wants to see if this is still the same gargoyle it was battling. Did something change here? Is it now inanimate? Should it attack or should it not? And so the troll rolls, and the result is only a 4. And since the troll has advantage, it rolls again, this time being a 12. Still not enough. And with that, the troll doesn't pick up anything new, or anything beyond what it's perceiving visually, so it decides to move in, to inspect the gargoyle closer, and possibly attack it. The gargoyle, immediately taking advantage of the troll's move, attacks with its claws. And unfortunately, we've got a 1. The gargoyle completely misses, and the troll, now knowing exactly what to do, goes in for a clean close-up attack. The troll rolls to hit. Having missed with his jaws, he proceeds with his claws. And he rolls for the first set and misses. He rolls for the second set and also misses. It seems this turn was full of flailing and swooshing about with no real consequences to either opponent. Well, except for the gargoyle's cover being blown. The troll decides to remain, and the turn passes on to the gargoyle. Furious at having missed its previous attack, especially having prepared as it did, the gargoyle snarls, baring its teeth, and lunges with them at the troll's neck. And he rolls an 8, furious even more at the troll that it somehow got its neck out of the sharpened peaks of the gargoyle's fangs. It lunges its claws, more confident than ever before that it will strike this troll and strike it well. And with that, it rolls a 14. Finally! And it lands the claws right on the troll's neck. The crowd goes wild, and it rolls for the damage. And what? It only rolls a 1, barely leaving enough room for a drop of blood to release. Extra furious and feeling a tinge of fear, the gargoyle plunges into the air, but as he so begins to, the troll gets an opportunity attack and rolls. And it's a 17. Of course, some of the claws on its long arm was able to reach the gargoyle, at least by its wing, but let's see just exactly where it hit and how hard. Rolls a 5 and a 1. That's a total of 10 slashing damage, but being as the gargoyle has extra tough leathery skin, the scratch upon its arm is only half of that, dropping its health 5 points. leaving it at 68 points of health. The gargoyle powerfully flaps its wings and rises 10 feet above the troll, looks upon the horizon, and flies to the center of the arena. The troll heals up back to full HP, turns around, and confidently heads toward the gargoyle's area. With nothing left to do, it readies for a possible attack, in case the gargoyle decides to drop in. The gargoyle does a short pace in flight. It's realizing minute by minute, second by second, it's completely running out of options. But while it's still on a decent dose of energy, it decides to take a dive and attack the troll with everything it's got. But alas, as it so does, the troll is once again ready. The troll's long clawed fingers swish into the air, and they slice at the gargoyle's wing. And with that roll, the troll scores 5 slashing damage, ripping a small hole in the gargoyle's wing. The gargoyle now opens its mouth wide, stretching its neck into the green of the troll, and with a 17 successfully lands a bite as the gargoyle's fangs lunge onto its shoulder. The gargoyle confidently lifts its arm and attempts to dig its claws into the troll's lower side, and it rolls an 11, which is a success. The sharp black claws pierce the skin, causing the troll 6 points of damage, still quite enraged, but having enough control to consider the reality of the situation. The gargoyle rises above the troll into the sky again, out of its reach. But of course, before successfully being able to do this and having been engaged with the troll makes an opportunity attack. And it's a 16, which is a hit. Its claws rip at the gargoyle's leg, wounding the gargoyle for 6 points. Bleeding and a bit grizzled up, the gargoyle finds its safety in the sky. The troll, unimpressed with the gargoyle's actions, circles the aerial fiend and readies itself again for once the gargoyle decides to come down. The gargoyle, still unsuccessful but attempting for a hit-and-run tactic, drops down again upon the troll, claws spread out wide, but the troll is once again ready and strikes first with its claws. And that's a hit, and it rolls for the slashing damage of the claws, scoring a 2 and a 5, creating for 5 more wounds on the gargoyle. The gargoyle violently twitches its arm and proceeds with its jaws wide open. And it misses, but immediately follows up with its claws, succeeding and wounding the troll for 7 points of damage, creating a nice red scrape across the troll's chest. At this point, the gargoyle decides not to embark on the skies again. It's just going to trigger more attacks, and therefore it stays in position, ready as if in statue form, to take whatever abuse the troll has to offer. First off, the troll regenerates, bringing it back to full health. The troll, starting its turn right up next to the gargoyle, finally gets to show really what it's made of. Its jaws stretch apart, and it lunges at the gargoyle with a definite hit of piercing damage, leaving bloody bite marks upon the gargoyle. It readies its left arm for an uppercut attack and scores a critical hit, which doubles its damage roll. Now, following that awesome clawed uppercut, the troll swings with his other arm. He rolls a 12, and that's a hit. Its sharp claws cut across the gargoyle's leathery skin, causing it another 5 points of damage. The troll, proud of its strikes, opens his arms wide and welcomes the gargoyle to bring in more pain. It's ready for whatever it'll dish out at this point. The gargoyle considers the situation bloodied and furious. Its eyes are red with rage, and it leaps in for a bite attack. Rolling a 4, unfortunately it misses with the bite, but immediately follows that up with its muscular arm. The troll, glowing with confidence, dodges out of the gargoyle's reach, and the gargoyle spreads its wings, readying for flight. But the troll interrupts it with an opportunity attack. But its arm flies through the air as it misses, and the gargoyle escapes, and rises 10 feet into the air, turns around, and retreats 50 feet, safely landing at its starting area. If only it could regenerate, as does the troll. The troll quickly follows up and stops itself right out of range of the gargoyle. The extra distance took up whatever energy it would have had to attack, and so we return to the gargoyle. The gargoyle moves up next to the troll. Without any more thought, the gargoyle intimidatingly spreads its wings and leaps forward at the troll. The gargoyle rolls to hit. Success! Its fangs dig into the troll and wound the troll for 5 points. It lunges its claws at the troll and strikes it straight on the face, causing it yet another 5 points of damage. And with that, the gargoyle leaps into the air as the troll misses an opportunity attack and flies off as far as it can behind the troll, landing on the sands of the arena once again. The troll turns around, and as it so does, it regenerates back to full health. It heads toward the gargoyle for 30 feet, and then at this point, being overconfident, it even circles around the gargoyle, finishing its turn right behind it. The gargoyle turns around and, of course, immediately attacks. And its bite attack is a success, but unfortunately only dealing 3 points of damage upon the troll, reducing the troll's health to 81. The gargoyle attacks with its claws, and it's also a success, dealing the troll another 4 points of damage. The troll's health is back to 77 points, and the gargoyle's fury bloodiness blinds it and feeds into its confidence to stay and battle the troll instead of risking an opportunity attack from it as it would try to move away. The troll, healing its HP back up, takes immediate advantage, attacking the gargoyle with a bite. With this 14, it's a success, and it rolls for the bite, dealing 8 with the resistance modifier being 4 damage. The troll now attacks with its claws, swinging its arms about. Succeeding with his slashers, he deals the gargoyle another 7 points of damage. The gargoyle suffers yet another attack, with a roll of 12 from the troll. The troll rolls for damage, dealing the gargoyle 6 more damage. Bloodied even more, the gargoyle regains a little bit of clarity of the situation, although it knows it's running out of options. Not wanting to suffer any more damage from all of the troll's attacks, it tries to disengage and go into flight, but the troll strikes again at the opportunity. And unfortunately for the gargoyle, succeeds on that attack from its long-armed claws, dealing the gargoyle an additional 5 points of damage. The gargoyle, a bloodied mess, and barely being able to fly, continues its lift off and flutters out of the reach of the troll as far as it can in this arena. With its heavy breaths and wings beating, it retains its flight in the winds. The troll regenerates and moves in. At 30 feet, it takes a moment to pause and reconsider its move. It could stay here with a ready attack, as the gargoyle will probably shoot in for another attack, unless it desires to completely run out of energy and basically give in. But confident at its own health equilibrium, it keeps moving forward. The troll looks up at the gargoyle with what one could assume is a smile upon its face. The gargoyle regains its focus on the more vulnerable parts of the troll, if there really are any, and with its somewhat simple, beastly mindset, doesn't overwhelm itself with thoughts of the situation, as it is what it is and they are in battle, and what can it do within this confined space of place and time but to shriek and continue the battle in all of its monstrous purple glory until only one, the stronger, remains alive. And so it dives in for its final rampage, or at least for what it intends to be a rampage. And unfortunately that fails, as the troll in full health and therefore awareness smoothly avoids its muzzle, but let's see if it can do the same for the claws. And that's a success, very nice success, as the gargoyle rolls for damage, dealing the troll 5 points total. The gargoyle shrieks again at the troll as it regenerates and attempts to see if its bite attack is a success. And it looks like it isn't. And that simply makes sense, as bites from these creatures are much harder to land than claws attached to their long limbs. It rolls again to see if it slashes, and it does, almost scoring a critical hit. With that first arm, it deals 5 damage, and strikes with the other arm, also almost scoring a critical hit, with blood spilling out of the gargoyle's mouth, off of its arms and off of its chest, dealing it the final blow of that sweet, cold, yet comfortably welcoming death. The troll bends down, takes a sniff at the fallen beast as its last slivers of life leave its body. And with that, the troll looks at both of its arms with a quick scan of its body and almost nonchalantly walks back and out of the arena. And there you have it, folks. The battle between a rather formidable large gargoyle and a troll. Did the battle go as you had expected? Would you have thought that there were some better options? What if the gargoyle had continued with its hit and run tactics of returning into flight, yet suffering smaller damages from the troll each time from the opportunity attacks? It would seem if the troll would stay conscious, and especially with that healing, it would definitely still drain the gargoyle's lifeblood to 0. Maybe it would have been a much less glorious battle for both, but the length of its life would have been extended those several minutes, or possibly even another hour or so, depending on how successful the troll would be with his single attacks in those cases. What monsters would you love to see fight next? And personally, which one of these monsters are you a bigger fan of? I'm thinking as part of a continuation of these series to have the victor fight in a future battle and the loser being out for good and truly dead, as I certainly have enough minis, and there are many more minis that can enter this world to keep this going on virtually forever. What say you on that?